Every area of land on Earth will have a little different soil. Soils are made up of crushed rock and decomposed organic matter, which will contain elements of the earth that are essential for plants to grow. So, very often, when something goes wrong in your garden, like disease or plants that are doing strange things, it might not seem like it, but often it's a manifestation of a deeper problem that has to do with the health of your soil. So, it's important to know how to amend your soil. Another thing that I wanted to cover that I didn't understand when I started out gardening is topsoil. In my first little garden in college, I bought some good black compost and I wanted to bury the compost and mix it in as deep as I could with my native soil. I figured that it didn't matter what kind of soil was on the surface, it mattered what kind of soil was around the roots. I have since learned that that isn't exactly the case. So let me explain. First of all, it's important to understand what topsoil is. So, as I said, the earth is made up of layers of rock, and the top layer of earth is usually covered in crushed rock that we call sand or dirt. When the powdered rock is mixed up with decayed organic matter, it is called soil. And topsoil is the top layer of soil that has the most decayed organic matter because it is at the top. This organic matter is food for plants. Topsoil is important for growing because it does a couple of things. One, it is nutrient rich. Two, it provides the right texture for plants to be able to get oxygen and spread out roots. And three, it helps plants retain water. So rather than focusing on taking nice, healthy soil and trying to bury it deep and exposing your dry, icky soil on top, it's better to have a mat of nice soil over the top of your native soil. So the nutrients in the top of the soil will leach into your native soil below. It will protect your plants from disease. And most importantly, it will hydrate your plants so that the soil doesn't dry out so quickly. Now, to be clear, if you're gardening in your native soil and not bringing it in, like in raised beds, the most optimal would be to first work your compost into the soil using a tiller or other tool that breaks and mix up the surface. So here's an example of what that would look like. So then you would lay a mat of good soil over the top of that soil that you've worked in using a tiller or some kind of other tool. Now, I understand that it's not always possible to have that much great soil to work in and then lay over the top, but that is the most ideal if you're working in your native soil. So, just to sum it up, remember if you can do nothing else, make sure you have your best soil at the surface.